If I were to tell you I don't want to fall in love, that would be a lie. But behind every lie, there is always a grain of truth. I want love, as all are conditioned to be, yet the unconditional form of it is hard to come by. Love is rare and common. Love is free and costly. Love is empowering and devastating, a force akin to celestial powers or the gravitational pull of the darkest black hole, shredding your universe. Love is, ironically, two ends of a magnet, working in conjunction to pull us into a stranger's orbit. Growing up in a divorced family was quite a trip. I distinctively remember I was oddly optimistic and forgiving of my parents' situation, which deep down was something I categorized as fault. It was a type of hurt that I try to render its repercussion with a laugh. Pretty successfully, might I add. If based on observations. If I were to be dishonest. Behind closed doors and tucked blankets, loneliness was not a nightmare I could wake up from. I yearned to feel whole and experience the could-have-beens. To go on trips with both my hands held, to draw a family portrait with two adults and one. So, younger me got to work and began filling that hole with anything she could finesse. Given the limited ethos, pathos, logos under her belt, my childhood was filled with hamsters, turtles, ducks, chickens, who have all left way too soon. An exact mirror of what I was desperately trying to fix in my life. Then it hit me. Maybe it's something I can't fix. Maybe it's the way love is. Maybe I'm just not made for it. The epiphany worked like a charm. I stopped looking for love, which was great for my family because academics always took top priority. But I'm not a rock, or maybe I'm just a sentient one. Love weaves through my years, always within reach. But I retracted myself before the tingling sensations reached its threshold, firing false promises away. So I learned to collect other variations of love that seem to have lower risks. Love of food, love of friends, love of my blended family, love of the hobbies I've discovered while discovering who I am and who I wanted to be. With all that love in my chest, there seems to be one left. One I wasn't sure if I was prepared for. But it's funny how a thought can manifest itself. A miracle born out of thin air. Love came to me in the most unexpected way, during the most turbulent part of my life.
You know what's gonna mess me up?
I was clueless and terrified. I was not the best version of myself, or how I had foreseen all of this to pan out. I loved with reservation. I loved with lingering doubts. I loved with tight lips, holding back the insecurities I felt. But it was different. It felt safe. It felt like being engulfed by a whale in the middle of the ocean. I felt protected in this vast plain, left with space to take things at my own pace. I was reconditioned to love again. I was showered with encouragement, forgiveness, and much, much more. I was becoming a person who I didn't think would exist. I knew love had shown me mercy, but I'm also painfully aware that not all stories share the same ending. Love quenches our needs like an oasis in an arid desert. Every droplet exhausts itself to fulfill yet another fantasy. Then it sucks the life out of you after the clock strikes 3. Its cyclical nature alludes to the inevitable. You know how love is. It'll hurt regardless. It'll hurt like an open wound. It'll hurt like a dried up sea. It'll hurt like a soaked sponge leaking endlessly. It'll hurt when you see it, invisible, yet very much present, in the littlest things and how they used to be. It'll hurt less with time, but it will never stop hurting, because the people who've left were never meant to be temporary. But the hurt can be good.
Oh, sorry.
The hurt can be growth. The hurt can be the marks that make who you are years down the road. No one is exempt from it, and the magnitude is universal. Our hearts break in the same rhythm as they pulsate with life. So, love. If it'll hurt regardless, love. Because we will never be the same age again. You will never be the same you again. Love ferociously. Love selflessly. Love intentionally. But remember to always love yourself above anyone else.